Okay, so number 17 talks about symmetry. Remember, symmetry is just like a mirror line. So when you reflect it, what you get? Okay. Rotation by 90 degrees. Remember, it's the same as negative reciprocal slope. Or when we talk about angles, is 90 degree. Rotating it 180, depending on the shape. If it's a line, you get the exact same thing, right? And then obviously rotating it 90 degrees clockwise is the same as rotating it 270 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. Let me just go over most of these questions first, and then if you have individual questions, you can ask me after. Number 18 right here. What is this line called again? GH? What is line GH called? You need to know it for the exam. Tangent, right? What about GO? What is this line called? Yep, radius. So the angle that your radius and tangent make is always 90 degree. I see a 90 degree triangle with length. What comes to mind? Yep.
Is it the arc?
No, what theorem comes to mind? A 90 degree triangle and you're given two lengths. Oh, Michelle, sorry. Pythagorean theorem, right? So since I'm looking for the side length, I'm doing the subtraction. So 18 squared take away 10 squared, square rooted, I get 15 centimeters. Make sure you write your unit. In this case, 15 centimeters. What is this called? This line? What is this line called? Kaden? What about this line? What is this line called? Yeah, chord, right? Okay, so do you need to know these names for the final exam? Yes. Okay, I won't ask you the definition, but you might have to label, you might have to matching. Okay, so you do need to know the terms. In number 20, okay, I see a quadrilateral inside this circle. So this quadrilateral touches this circumference. Okay, so it means one of the properties is the opposite angles add up to 180. So if I know this is 125, that means this one right here, 180 minus 125, I get 55 degrees. Okay, if I know that this is 55, I know that this angle y is 110. Why is that? What's the relationship between these two angles? What is this angle called? Melody? You don't know the name of this angle. Oh, you don't like terminology? Okay. So you'll need to know it for the final exam though. Con. Inscribe angle. And then Misha, this one? Central angle. Not center, central. Okay, guys? So it's double it. So if this is 55, that means this is 110. And then a circle is 360 degrees. So if this is 110, that means the other part of the circle is 250. Okay? You have to know those names. Okay? And then moving on to 21, some people were asking about this question yesterday. So 28 is your diameter, and then you have a rectangle with length 21. So you're looking for the side length. Again, I see a right angle triangle, Pythagorean theorem. That's all it is. Number 22, decagon. How many sides is a decagon? 10, right? Okay. What does a regular decagon mean? Right, thank you, Google. Oh, hey, I didn't know Google was in my class. So regular decagon means 10 sides, all equal length. All the sides are equal and all the angles are equal. Okay. So in this case, they even drew the diagram for you. So all I see is again a right angle triangle. I can figure out what this side is. So then double it, that's the length of one side, and then times it by 10. Remember, if I do this right here, that's not a right angle triangle. So when we do volume and surface area, remember you have to cut the base in half so that you get that right angle triangle. All right. Number 23. So same thing. If this is 115, that means the opposite angle is 65. I do 180 minus that. What type of triangle is this right here? The highlighted one. What type of triangle, Melissa? What is this triangle called? Isosceles, right? How do you spell isosceles? Elena? Isosceles? You're missing an S in there, so ISOS. Okay, so the spelling count. All right, especially if that question is asking you about the terminology, spelling is part of terminology. Okay, so make sure you know it. You don't need to know it for EQAO, but final exam. Okay, so you have extra 24 hours to memorize the spelling. So since this is an isosceles triangle, I know this is a 65. That means this side is also 65. So what's left for angle Y? 180 minus 65, you get 50. And then opposite angle, add up to 180. So that means Z is 130. Notice for all of these angle questions, I did 180 minus this, 180 minus that. So if you're stuck, do 180, okay? It will get you somewhere. Okay, percentage, probability. Okay, so these ones, all these ones right here from 25 to 29, it's just the sampling method and the biases, the problems. So if you refer to the beginning of chapter 10, so remember these potential problems right here. So these, I don't need the definition, just know the names. Same thing with these ones, the different sampling methods. Okay, so you've seen a question similar on the assignment, so something like that. Okay, so that's that right there. Any questions that we didn't go over? Answers are included in the exam review package. If you want more exam review package, it is on Brightspace. Okay. Moving on, this EQAO package. Page 25, please. Page 25. All right, we'll go over the last set because I added in these new questions because they are questions that I've seen recently on the latest EQAO. Okay, page 25 of the EQAO package. Page 25. Okay, so number one, prism, pyramid. You know the magic number between them is 3. All right, so on EQAO, be careful with the wording. They could say a pyramid, it's a third of the volume of a prism, or they can say the prism is 3 times the volume of a pyramid. Okay, so be careful of the wording. So since this one has a volume of this divided by 3, you get A. Number 2, right here I have this in y equals mx plus b form. So even though it's -1 plus 2x, remember your slope is the one in the coefficient in front of the x. So slope is 2, y-intercept -1. Since it says y is less than, we know that we're shading below our y-intercept. So it's this one right here. Okay. Number 3. Correlation coefficient. So remember, strongest is 1 or -1, no matter positive or negative, and your weakest is closest to 0. So in this case, this one, again, doesn't matter positive or negative. It will be A, strongest to weakest. Okay. Number 4, if you were to graph this inequality, so the fact that you see it's just a gradient sign means that it's a dotted line, not a solid line. So there you go. You eliminated 2 choices. And then it's either this one or this one. Since its y is greater, that means I shade above the line. Okay. Number 5, How many milliliter is 1.5 liter? Do you need to know this conversion? Yes, because it's metric. Okay, so times it by 1,000. That's all you need to do. This one is a little tricky. Okay, reflect over the y-axis. So originally I have my purple line. So when I reflect it, it means I flip it over the y. So it's now this one. And then I'm shifting it to the right by 3. Okay, so shifting it over by 3, it should give me a y-intercept of 2. Looking at these ones right here, I don't have a y-intercept of 2 here. Okay, but if you so it's not this one, not this one. And then because after I flip it, I now have a positive slope. So I know that my answer out of elimination is D, this one. When we get into grade 10, did I do a mistake? Now, when we get into grade 10, you'll see that we, when you do horizontal translation, you write it in brackets. Okay, but that's in grade 10. If you are not sure of this one, you can also do like check it. You can plug in numbers. You can draw a scale graph. Okay. Number 7. This one is a tricky question because of the wording. So OA is 5. How long is OD? How long is line OD? Let's say, Catherine, if OA is 5, how long is OD? Also 5. That's right, because this is your radius. This is also your radius. It doesn't look like it, but it is. Okay, so when you do Pythagorean theorem, you'll see that OC is 3 centimeters. But that's not the question. It's asking you for just this part right here. So if you know the whole line is 5 and this part is 3, that means CD is 2. Okay, so it's not that you guys don't know how to do this question, but the wording might throw you off and trick you on EQAO. Yes. I'm not yet. Let me just finish this real quick. Okay, fine. Okay, so number 8, we talked about this. Opposite angles inside for a quadrilateral inside a circle add up to 180, so that's 91 degrees. This one is a little tricky right here. Okay, so this straight line angle, what's the formal name for a straight line angle? So when two angles add up to 180, what do we call that? Yep, supplementary. Thank you. So if this is 70, this is 110. Subtract that from 180 and then split it between the other two angles, because again, this is an isosceles triangle right here. This is your radius, this is your radius. So these two angles are 35 degrees. But again, that's not what they're asking. They're asking for this angle right here. So when they ask angle TAB, they're asking for this outside angle. And then 90 minus 35, you get the 55 degrees. By the way, can I do alternate angle pattern? TABO right here. Can I do the alternate pattern? I see a Z. Can I? Sarah, no, why not? Excellent. Okay, remember, alternate angle, corresponding angle only works if the lines are parallel. Okay, so even though this looks like a Z, it's not. That the theorem doesn't apply. Okay. Solve for the inequality. When you move that -7 over, you add it, so you get 15. What happens when I divide by a negative number? Sign flips, right? So instead of less than, it's now greater than. So when I graph this, I have -5 greater, so it's this way. Open circle because it's just greater. So this one. Okay. Number 11. Which one is a linear relation? Which one has the form y equals mx plus b? So this one has the square, that's not it. This one x times y, that's not it. This one is 1 over x, that's not it. So A. Okay. Oh, this one right here, number 12, coding. So, Martin, as you were asking, what type of coding question might you see? Something like this. So you are in a taxi, and if you go more than 10 kilometers, you get a 10% discount. Okay. So, uh, whenever you do this discount percentage, okay, so if it's a 10% discount, what do I times it by? 10% discount. What do I times? Yep, 0.9. Right. So if you take a look at this one, I don't need to know anything about coding. I'm just looking at this. Okay, I don't see any 0.9. I'm not timesing by 10%. This one minus 10%. So obviously the minus, that's wrong. This one minus 0.1, that's wrong. This one times by 0.9, yep, 8. All right. So I didn't really need to know coding in this one. I just need to know that when I do 10% of something, I have to times it by 0.9. Okay. Number 13. Okay, number 13, simple interest. Adrina, do you remember the formula for simple interest? I equals, well, that's compound interest. That's compound. Simple interest. Zoe, do you remember the formula? The rate R, right? Okay, so I equals PRT. Do you need to memorize it for tomorrow and Thursday? Yes. Okay, so make sure you know it. Principal 1,000, rate 5%, so 0.05. Time is 3 years, so that when you multiply, you get the 150 interest. Okay. Budget. We talked about the budget. Why is it important? So that your income is more than your expense. So when you subtract your rent and your food, you have $30 left for other expenses. Okay. Number 15. Emma, she's gonna put a 20% down payment for a laptop. So 20% of 1,200, 20% as a decimal, 0.2 of means times 1,200 means 1,200. So when you multiply it, you get 240. Is a good payment a down? Is a down payment a good thing? Yeah, it's a good payment down thing. Yes. Okay. So that's what down payment. And what is the purpose of a down payment? It's to lower your interest. Okay. And number 16. Okay. You by now you really have to know how to set up these equations. So for example, this one $50 flat rate and $20 per day. You need to know that $20 per day is the 20x and then plus the 50 flat rate. This y equals mx plus b tells you that it's a linear relation. And then this one 5d squared, the square tells you is a parabolic relation. Okay. In grade 9, all we do is linear. In grade 10, all you do are parabolas. All right, so answer B. Okay, number 17 with the density. So in this one, we're assuming all the classrooms are the same size. So if everything is the same size, which means your denominator is the same, so you are just looking at how many students are in each class. So B has 32 students. That one is the most dense, okay, most crowded. Number 18, as I told you guys, my little hint, do you need to draw a box plot on the final exam? How many marks? 5, yes. How to draw one? How to draw one? That was in your book. Oh, well, you have 24 hours to figure out how to draw one. So here, I'll draw one for you right now. Minimum, maximum, and then your Q1, Q2, Q3. So first off, you have to draw a number line. And then second, minimum, maximum, Q1, draw a line. Median, draw a line. Also your Q2, also the 50th percentile. And then Q3, draw a line so that you have a box, and then you connect it. Right. On the last assignment, I saw a lot of you guys didn't even draw me a box plot. All right, so that's not good. 5 marks. Okay. Learn it in the next 24 hours. Does a box plot tell you about the average? Does it tell you about the average? No. Okay, it tells you about the median. So not this. Okay. IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So 75 minus 55 is 20, not 10. So not that, not that. And then why these are called quartiles is because each of these sections are 25%. All right, so 25% here, and above 55 is 75%. Okay, so then half of the students scored between 40 and 60, which is true. Okay, last page, number 19. All right, so just for the sake of the review, what is the slope formula? Yes, Kaden. Right. Okay. So my little trick, remember, write it on top of the coordinates so that you don't mix it up when you substitute it in. Be careful with the minus sign in between. When you substitute it in, you'll see that you have 0 over 8. What is 0 over 8? 0. What is 8 over 0? What's 8 divided by 0? No, 0 divided by 8 is 0. But 8 divided by 0? No, undivided. Okay, so m equals 0, it's a horizontal line. M equals undivided, it's a vertical line. Okay, so this one right here, it wants a perpendicular bisector. So if this was your original line, you want this line right here. Bisector, remember bisector means the middle. So in the middle of 2, 4 and 10, 4, it's x equals 6. Okay, this one cuts those 2 points right in the middle, and it's perpendicular. Okay, number 20. Okay, so you don't have to draw a Venn diagram, but it helps in this case. So draw the box, your 2 circle for soccer, basketball. I know that 10 people play both sports. So if 18 people play soccer, you subtract that 10, that means 8 play only soccer. Same thing, so that means only 5 play basketball. If you add those up and subtract it from 40, that means 17 people don't play either sport. Right? A Venn diagram does help with this question. Otherwise, you would have just subtract all these and got like 7 people. Okay. This one, you're given the 2 sets, which is not a subset of A. So actually, the fact that this question only asks set A, you don't even need set B right here. I don't know why I included it. But so subset is just means it's inside or not. So you can see this one, 0, 1, and 6. 0, 1, but no 6. So that means this set is not a subset of A. Okay, last one right here, very last question. You want to find the area. So before you can do that, figure out how long each dimension is. So if this whole thing is 10, this part is 6, you know that this part is 4. Pythagorean theorem. You'll find that this is 3 centimeters. So if this is 2, this is 3, that means this whole thing is 5. Right, Catherine? Yes. All right. So length times width, 30. Base times height divided by 2, you get 6. Added together, you get 36 meter square. Okay, so remember dimension, centimeters, area, centimeter square, volume, centimeters cube. Do you need to memorize any of these formulas for geometry? No, it will be given to you for EQAO and for the final exam. Okay, so you should have finished all these questions in this booklet. If you have not, please do try these questions tonight. Answers for everything is in the back right here. So answers for all 5 sets. It's all right here. Okay. So do try it out. See how you do. To prepare yourself well for the EQAO and final exam, you should have done this exam review and this EQAO review. Okay, and you should be good.